It is my privilege tonight to introduce my research on using green infrastructure to reduce coastal flooding risks. Let's dive in. Coastal areas have been continuously subject to various hazards stemming either from natural processes or human action and sometimes inaction at the coast. But recently, the post-industrial changes in our climate have had drastic impacts on the hazards coastal areas are exposed to. We know that the global sea levels are rising in an unprecedented way since 1990s. And this increase in the sea levels is expected to amplify the existing coastal flooding risks and associated vulnerabilities. So, how can we reduce the flooding risks? Traditionally, coastal areas were protected using hard structures, such as seawalls, but these structures are very static, very expensive, and require high maintenance. Moreover, they cause erosion at the coast, and loose parts can cause significant damage to infrastructure and human lives. A recent alternative to hard structures is green infrastructure, which is a low-cost, low-maintenance way of reducing coastal flooding risks. Green infrastructure is very effective in reducing wave energy and very adaptive to changing environmental conditions. Moreover, they stabilize coasts and provide many other ecosystem services. In this project, I collaborate with the District of North Saanich in their efforts to reduce coastal flooding risks in the face of rising sea levels. 1 meter sea level rise has been projected for British Columbia, but in North Saanich, they can actually see up to 3.5 meters wave effects associated with the sea level rise. So the goal of this project is first to investigate the different sea level rise adaptation strategies and identify the ones that are aligned with community desires and development goals. And second, to seek how green infrastructure can be implemented in these different strategies. This project builds an important precedence in British Columbia by being the first case where the members of the general public meet with their city council and their municipal staff to discuss the adaptation strategies recommended by the provincial government, and they make a decision together. This project increases trust between the public and decision makers by creating a transparent environment where the participants can work towards the same goal. It also aims to increase learning in the community, but not only from expert to public, but in both ways. In the first step, we hosted an expert meeting in June 2016 to discuss the baseline scientific data and the format of the stakeholder workshop with the District of North Saanich municipal staff and the City Council, Capital Regional District, provincial government, consultants, and environmental NGOs. And in November 2016, we hosted our first stakeholder workshop. There were about 40 participants from 2 residents associations from District of North Saanich, the municipal staff and city council, Capital Regional District, provincial government, consultants, and again, environmental NGOs. In this meeting, the 2 focus areas that were chosen by me were introduced to the participants, and the rationale behind this decision was also explained. These areas were particularly chosen because they have the most high-risk coastlines in District of North Saanich. And in this step, the public opinion was not considered, and this was a deliberate decision, because we knew from the previous projects and the literature that the participants were going to choose their own coastlines to be the focus area, because who wouldn't? But this is not the purpose of this project. So the public opinion was left out of only this part of this project. And to show them why we need to address coastal flooding issues now, we use 3D visuals based on the actual coastlines that shows the impacts of sea level rise and the wave effects. This one shows 1 meter sea level rise impact on focus area 1. And this one shows the 1 meter sea level rise and its effects for the focus area 2. I don't know why it went away. But as you can imagine, some participants were not happy, and you could actually hear ohs and wows amongst the audience. So after showing them what the impacts will be, we started to discuss how we can adapt to these changing conditions. BC government highlights 4 main adaptation strategies. These are protect, which is protecting coast either using hard or soft structures. Accommodate, which is retrofitting the existing buildings in a way that can be less damaged by flooding. Avoid, which is avoiding development from areas that are prone to coastal flooding. And manage retreat, which is the eventual relocation of the community into a less hazardous area. And then all the participants worked in groups to see which strategies they would like to see implemented in their community. But this was not an easy process. You can see some Santa Claus chocolate pieces laying on the maps, which were distributed to calm down the environment throughout the meeting. So now I have the data on what flood reduction actions the stakeholders want to see in their community. Next, I will fly a drone on the coastlines of North Saanich to capture high-quality images and will visualize the stakeholder-approved actions for 0.5 and 1 meter sea level rise so they can actually see the immediate effects of different types of actions. This project has already got some media interest, and I can say that not everyone is very happy. But as the saying goes, if you are not making some people angry, you probably aren't doing anything important. I understand that this is a challenging subject to discuss, but in this meeting, I try to explain participants that sea level rise is not the end of the world, at least not in this part of the world, and that there are ways to adapt to changing conditions. I want to end my talk by thanking to my founders, PSI, Pacific Institute for Climate Solutions, and MIOPAR, and also thanking you for your attention. Thank you.